We've seen Solo Leveling shatter anime record after anime record, but what makes Solo Leveling so unique? What makes Solo Leveling so good that it's bringing so many non-traditional anime watchers to want to keep up with the story of Sun Jin Woo? Well, today I want to break down some of the major points of what I believe makes Solo Leveling so special that it may be considered a once-in-a-generation style anime. My name is Jay Talks Anime. Let's get started. When discussing Solo Leveling, you really have to start off talking about the animation quality and the pacing. Why animation? Well, so many fans base how good something is nowadays off of the animation quality. Demon Slayer, JJK, both of these series got so popular. Yes, it's a good storyline, but the animation quality has been extremely consistent. Solo Leveling is nailing that part of the anime. They have made sure that the animation for season 1 was top notch, but season 2, the fight scenes, the animation, the dynamic effects of the environmental background, it's all been so well done that that is part of the things that if you are going to produce a high quality anime, expect viewers to get excited about it, you have to keep up with their expectations. And Solo Leveling has definitely, in my opinion, kept up with most of our expectations. When I think about the consistency and the quality of animation we've seen so far from this anime series, I like to put it up against something like Cyberpunk Edgerunners that people only had one season of, they got super excited about, they loved the story, they loved the pacing, and they loved the animation quality. So I think Solo Leveling has done a great job of taking what they've seen has worked and hasn't worked with the newer animes getting released, and they've absolutely nailed it. In addition to that, which brings us to pacing. Now, pacing is one of those things that, in my opinion, can absolutely make or break an anime series when it comes to popularity. If your anime series is too slow, you're going to lose a lot of fans because we live in a world of instant gratification with shortened attention spans. Solo Leveling has obviously realized this, and they have nailed this when it comes to pacing. In my opinion, Solo Leveling, although I do wish they give you a little bit more backstory into some of the other hunters, some of the other rankings, some of the other guilds, Solo Leveling does a fantastic job of the pacing of the show to make sure the average viewer, the non-anime viewer, is interested in the series, and that is why this series has been so successful thus far. Although the animation and the pacing are two factors of the show that make the show phenomenal, you would not have a show without Sun Jin Woo, and you wouldn't have Solo Leveling without the awesome transformation and evolution of their main character. While we don't get a lot of information on almost any other characters in the show outside of Sun Jin Woo, what we do know about Sun Jin Woo is he was an E-ranked hunter. He was the weakest hunter in all of humanity, and he was pretty useless, if not a burden to the people he would go hunting with. Why do I say that? Well, Sun Jin Woo really was a burden. He would go on raids, couldn't fend off goblins, his equipment was so bad it would constantly break, he would die or get close to death from frostbite or starvation. I mean, these are things that a hunter shouldn't have to deal with as far as like keeping up with themselves. Most of these hunters are strong enough to fight beasts one-on-one. Solo Leveling is probably one of the most relatable animes when it comes to relatability of the average watcher. And the reason I say that, and a lot of people will look at me crazy like, Jay, how is an anime that talks about dungeon breaks, magics, and goblins anything relatable to the real world? Well, hear me out on this. In the real world, there's not always, and usually there is not a direct correlation between hard work and who's successful. There are people who are born into millionaire families that never have to work hard for the rest of their lives. What we see in Solo Leveling is a character who started at the bottom, has worked his way up, and everything he does as far as hard work has a direct correlation to positive outwork and leveling up, or thus becoming stronger or more successful in his universe. That is something we all aspire to do in our real life, and that is another reason why Solo Leveling is so successful at capturing so many different people. In our heart of hearts, we all want our hard work to always equal a positive outcome, but that's just not the way the real world works. We also get incredible and simple world building. And what I mean by simple is they start off the series by literally telling us exactly how this universe works. It's our world with real countries and places that we recognize. And the only difference is these magical gates randomly open up. And if they're not cleared in a certain amount of time, these dungeon monsters break out. And sometimes they're strong, sometimes they're weak. But if a dungeon break happens, monsters do come into the real world and they attack civilians. Now, it happens every so often. We have learned that certain parts of the world have suffered dungeon breaks that have basically left those places completely off limits to humans because they're just being overrun by monsters. And the fact that this was explained so simply, so early on, allowed us to enjoy the series without having to constantly keeping up with all the new information that was added to understand the world. the last thing this series does phenomenally well is they avoid traditional anime tropes. Now, there's a lot of tropes that a lot of people hate. There's the pervy old guy, the pervy young guy, the pervy perv. There's a lot of perviness in anime, and I think they do a fantastic job of dropping some adult dry humor without making this anime based on perviness. They also don't do too much fan service. Now, a lot of people will say there's no fan service. There absolutely is fan service if you've read the manhwa. Now, the difference is in the fan service is it's so subtle, you don't even notice it's there. They change some dimensions of some characters. They make them look more muscular. They make them look more cool. But regardless, it makes the anime a little bit better for the fans, and fans enjoy it more, so that's okay. But when you base your entire anime around anime tropes, the really stupid character, the really pervy character, the really horny character, these are things people don't necessarily understand coming from a non-anime watching background. And this is, again, what has made Solo Leveling so unique and so perfect to the point where so many anime and non-anime watchers want to keep up week after week with the Sung Jin Woo and his story. Now, guys, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Solo Leveling? Is this anime that good, or is this just simply the only anime out right now to watch? Let me know down below in the comments. And guys, thank you so much for watching it. Thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a follow down below, subscribe. I'll see you on my next video, and everyone have a blessed day and peace out.